your mats. I think most of you know my name's Laura Beth, and this is your gentle flow and deep stretch. We're going to move and do some standing postures today, a little bit of balance. So if you want to grab a couple of blocks, that might be the best case scenario for you. And if you're using my playlist, it's You Can't Fall Out of Love, Why Six Restore. And remember, as we start to move and breathe, nothing should hurt, right? It might be uncomfortable, but pain, we move away from in our yoga practice. I mean, you know, not always, but typically that's a good rule of thumb, right? It shouldn't hurt. So when you're ready, lie down on your back. And then I'm going to give you a couple of options today, depending on how you feel in your low back, your groin, your inner thighs, your hips. You could take a collapsed bridge. Yeah, I can get that out. So your feet would be mats width distance apart. Or you could take a Supta Baddha Konasana, your supine butterfly pose. Where you draw the soles of your feet together, your heels in towards your sits bones. And your knees would splay comfortably open. But just pay attention to the sensations that each of these things create in your body, and move from there, right? So these are two very different things. And I'm offering such different things just because I know a couple of you have different things going on, right? Especially in the lower extremities, in the low back. So take the one that jives, that resonates with you today. I'm going to place my feet on the floor, almost as if I were prepping for a bridge pose. And then allow yourself a moment to drop in. Close down your eyes. Relax your brow. You can wiggle your jaw from side to side and then allow for it to go slack. Just let it hang. And you can take one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart, or let your arms come down by the side body. And if setting an intention is something that serves you in your practice, it's a great spot to do it. My intention right now is both on and off the mat, right? Is to let whatever is coming for me, to me, to let it come. And then to let whatever is moving away from me, whatever is not for me, to let it go. So in your practice today, perhaps you can embody some of that, and as we move, if it's not for you, it's all good. Let it go. If it is, let it come. And drop in. Feel it. So wherever you are in your breath cycle, go ahead and exhale completely. And then inhale through your nose. Allow for the breath to draw up. For your rib cage to expand. And then as you exhale, empty it back out, let it all go. Maybe a double exhale at the bottom. And then you inhale, allow for your breath to travel up. And exhale to empty, let it come right back down. Let's take one more just like that. Inhale. And exhale. And allow for your breath to match both in duration and intensity on its way in and on its way out. And if you have Ujjayi pranayama in your practice, your Ujjayi breath, feel free to seal the lips to draw your breath through your nostrils through the back of a slightly constricted throat. Both as you inhale and as you exhale. So working your breath, are arguably the most important part of your practice. Your Ujjayi breath, it's like you're trying to fog up a mirror in front of you. If you were to open your mouth, it takes on an oceanic-like sound. And it rolls through the back of your throat. So it swims up, comes through, comes back, comes down, right? Now whatever your knees are doing, I'm going to have you draw them up into, as if you were going to a bridge pose. Your feet down to the ground, your knees point up. On the inhale, open your arms out to a T. I'm going to have to, what is that, cactus my right side. Take an inhale, and then exhale, drop your knees to the right, turn your face to the left. So we're going to windshield wiper the knees. Inhale, come right back for center. And then exhale, drop your knees to the left and turn your face to the right. And then just take it side to side. Move with your breath. Gently begin to wake up the body. And then the next time you drop your knees over to the left is the last time. And then inhale, come right back for center. And on the exhale, let your low back root down into the ground. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. Take your right palm. There's a baby flex to your right foot, and then slide your right knee away from you by pressing your palm into your inner thigh. Breathe here. Take one more inhale. And then exhale, draw your left thigh in towards your chest if you need more. If you don't, skip it. And then there's a baby flex to both feet now to support your knees. Relax your shoulders, broaden your collarbone. Nicely done. Take one more inhale here. And on the exhale, cross your right leg over the left completely. There's an internal rotation to your thigh bones, so spin your inner thighs towards one another. And then inhale, round your shoulders up and off of the mat for a moment so your hands can grab opposite knees, shins, ankles. And then exhale, let your upper back come back down to the ground. So you've got Gomukhasana legs, your cow face legs. Feeling a stretch into the outer right hip. Baby flex to both feet. Let your low back lengthen to the ground. Take one more inhale here. And exhale to a happy baby. Peace fingers to your big toes. Hands to the inner or outer arches of your feet. And then you could rock side to side, whatever you need here. You could also just release your hands down completely. So if the hands grasping the feet in any way are too much, skip it. One more inhale. And then exhale, place your feet back down onto the ground. Lengthen your low back. Take your left ankle, cross it over your right knee. Flex to your left foot, and then slide your left palm in towards your left inner thigh. Let your knee move away from you. This is a great place to stop. If this already feels like a lot, this is where you stop. Otherwise, take an inhale. Exhale, draw your right thigh in towards your chest and interlace your fingers around your right hamstring. Relax your shoulders back and down. Nuzzle your left forearm into your inner thigh. And as you breathe in, you know you're breathing in. And as you breathe out, you know you're breathing out. One more inhale here. And then exhale, release your right thigh. Let your left leg cross completely over the right. Spin your inner thighs towards one another. And then inhale, round your shoulders up and off of the mat. Hands find opposite knees, shins, ankles. Exhale, let your upper back come down to the mat. Draw your legs in towards you and then press your feet away from each other. Lengthen your low back down to the ground. Relax your brows, relax your jaw. Take one more inhale here. And exhale, release one more time. Happy baby. Peace fingers to the big toes, hands to the inner outer arches of your feet, or whatever else it is that you choose to do. Take one more inhale here. And then exhale to release. Hug your knees in towards your chest. And then, so from here, we're going to take spinal rocks and rolls, but we're going to add a little bit of something. So we call these like baby chi sit-ups. I don't even know if that's a word or a real thing. It's what we call it. Your hands can definitely come down to the ground, palms face down on either side of your hips so that you have some support. On the inhale, so your feet go up into the sky, lift your hips. On the exhale, rock yourself forward, bring the soles of your feet together. Press your palms together and then reach your arms forward. So it's a butterfly leg. And then you inhale, round back, roll back, bring your knees together, lift your hips. Exhale to come forward, press your palms, press your feet, and reach your arms forward. Let's just take like maybe 5 more of these. Let it be nice and gentle, but enough to get a supple sensation across your spine. As you begin to open your inner thighs, you might even feel it in the IT bands, right? Groin, all that good stuff. Just looking for some fluid movement. Don't overdo it. Maybe 2 more, yeah? And on the last one, rock yourself forward. Bring the soles of your feet together and just hold here for a moment. Baddha Konasana. You might take some space between your heels and your groin if you have a low back sensitivity or tightness or anything like that. On the inhale, lengthen your spine, and on the exhale, just hinge forward ever so slightly. Don't go too deep. All right. And let your crown reach back up to the sky. Gently bring your knees together or just cross your feet at the ankles. You do what you need. We're coming into our box pose, so take your time. Probably going to have to shimmy back a little bit on your mat so that you're more in the center and not so far at the top. And then, as we talked about before, stack your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists. Bring your knees underneath your hips. Spread your fingers out wide, and then you'll press down into the webbing between your thumb and your forefinger so that you don't roll to the outer edges of your hands. Inhale, drape a soft belly down to the ground. Lift your chin, lift your tail, press your heart forward. And then exhale to reverse the movement. Dome out your upper back. Drop the crown of your head down. Inhale, bellies down. Press the heart in between your upper arm bones. Lift your chin. And then exhale to reverse it. Separate your shoulder blades. Press the earth away. Straighten your arms. Let's say 2 more just like that. Inhale, your belly down. And exhale the belly up. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Now on a Hatha Asana, inhale, come into a neutral spine. Bookmark your hips, they stay on top of your thigh bone, on top of your knees. But on the exhale, walk your hands forward and allow for your chest to come down towards the earth. Krama 1, your forehead might come down. If your forehead is still really lifted, that's fine. It's all good. If your forehead comes down to the earth, allow for it to rest there. Continue to lift your sits bones, to lift your tail, while pressing down into your knees, your shins, the tops of your feet. And if the space is there, your chin might come to the ground as you gaze forward. Take one more inhale. Exhale, slide your hips back towards your heels and find your child's pose. Roll your forehead side to side. Now with your inhale, walk your hands forward. On the exhale, walk them all the way over to the left. Thumb next to thumb. Pull your right hip back and down and stretch through the right side body. On the inhale, slide your hands back through center. And then exhale, walk them all the way over to the right. So you're still thumb next to thumb. Let your left hip pull back and down. And then walk your hands back through center. Inhale, press up into your box pose. Exhale, draw your navel in and up towards your spine. Now inhale, come onto your knees and your shins. Bring your shoulders over your hips. Reach your arms up overhead. So focusing a little bit on spinal articulations here. Your arms reach up. With your inhale, reach as long as you can. So you feel your bottom floating ribs lift up and away off of the tops of your hips, right? And on the exhale, open arm twist. Take your left arm forward, your right hand back. But watch your right hip. If it starts to pull back towards the back of your mat, fire up your innermost obliques on the right side and bring your right hip forward. Relax your shoulders from your ears. Good, y'all. I love how I look over at the camera and I'm like, good, you're nailing it. I wish I could see you. And then on your inhale, reach your right arm back up to the sky. Both arms reach. Get as long as you can. And then exhale, open arm twist. Right fingertips forward, left fingertips back. Now watch your left hip. If it starts to pull back towards your left hand, you got to fire up your innermost obliques and draw everything back forward. Breathe. Maybe your gaze goes towards your left hand. Exhale completely. Inhale, reach your arms back and up. Now on the exhale, it's like a trust fall. Bring your hands down out in front of your shoulders. Shift yourself forward. Bend your elbows and come all the way down to your belly. Inhale, roll your shoulders back. And then exhale, find your box pose. Now taking that breath to movement. Inhale, bring your shoulders up over your hips, your arms up over your head. Exhale, open arm twist, left arm forward, right arm back. Inhale, float your arms to the sky. It's okay if you don't follow. Exhale, right hand forward, left hand back. Don't overthink it. Inhale, both arms to the sky. Here it is. Exhale, hands down, shift your hips forward, bend your elbows, melt it down. Inhale, roll your shoulders back. Exhale, box pose. Use your core. You've got two more. Inhale, shoulders over your hips, arms up over your head. Exhale, left arm forward, right arm back. Inhale, both arms high. Exhale, right arm forward, left arm back. Inhale, both arms high. Exhale, hands forward, shift your hips, come all the way down to your belly. Inhale, roll your shoulders back. Exhale, box pose. Last round. Inhale, shoulders over your hips. Lift your arms high. Exhale, left arm forward, right arm back. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, left arm back, right arm forward. Inhale, both arms to the sky. Exhale, hands down, shift it forward and melt all the way down. Untuck your toes, pubic bone down to the ground. Now this time, inhale, roll your shoulders back, lift your chest. Exhale, melt back down. Curl up your toes. Inhale, pull your heart through to lift it. And then exhale, lift your hips up and back. Find your first downward facing dog of your practice. Lift your hips. Let your head hang down. And then you can pedal out your feet if you'd like. Perfect. chest in towards your thighs. Drop your head. And then inhale, take a soft bend to your knees, look forward. And exhale as many steps as you need to walk your feet to your hands at the top of your mat. Take them about hip width distance apart. This is a great spot to grab onto your blocks if you have them. And then inhale, lengthen your spine. Take the crown of your head forward, your tailbone back. So if you glance over, your back is tabletop, right? So roll your shoulders back, take the crown forward, the tailbone back, and your belly pulls in and up. And then exhale a soft bend to your knees, drape your chest to your thighs, and drop your head down. Breathe. Let your shoulders relax away from the ears. You could also grab onto opposite elbows and take a ragdoll here. Right back into center, let your hands hang down. And then inhale, come all the way up to standing. Reach your arms out and up. And then exhale, drop your right fingertips in between your shoulder blades. Let your left hand catch your right elbow. On the inhale, lengthen your spine, and then exhale, hinge to the left. Stretch your right tricep. On the inhale, right back through center, reach both arms high. Exhale, your left fingertips drop between your shoulder blades. Right hand catches your left elbow. Inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, hinge to the right. Stretch through your left tricep. And then inhale, right back through center, both arms high. Exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold, chest to your thighs. Inhale, take a halfway lift. And then exhale, hands down, step your left foot back, soften your left knee down to the ground. Now I'm going to use my blocks on either side of my right foot. Untuck your toes, and then take an inhale here. Zip the pit of your belly in and up, and then only if you're into it. Exhale, lift your left knee off of the floor so you're stretching the top of your left foot. So your left foot, the toes are untucked. You might even feel that all the way up into your shin. Take one more inhale. Exhale, soften your left knee down to the ground. Now you have the option to leave your foot as is or to curl up your left toes if that feels better. Inhale, bring your shoulders up over your hips, your arms up over your head, but your right knee is still tracking your heel or your ankle. Stay right here for your exhale. Pull the pit of your belly in and up. Now inhale, open your arms out to a T. And then exhale, take your left arm under the right. Either hug opposite shoulders or eagle up your arms. You choose, yeah? And you have the option to stay right here. If you want a little bit of spinal movement, inhale, lift your elbows, lift your forearms. And then exhale, tuck your elbows in towards your navel. You're going to feel a rounding in your upper back. We're going to take two more. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, last one. Exhale. Inhale, bring your shoulders back up over your hips. Release your arms, sweep them out and up. And then exhale, frame your front foot with your hands. Now your left hand can stay down on your block or on the ground, right? Inhale, float your right arm up to the sky. Take a twist. Allow your right shoulder to stack on top of the left. Option to stay right here or to exhale, reach your right hand back and catch your left ankle and move into a quad stretch on your left leg. Press down into the four corners of your right foot. Maybe you gaze over to your right shoulder. One more inhale here. Exhale, soften your left foot back down, your right hand outside of your right foot. Inhale, let your pelvis soften down and forward. Grab your blocks if you want them. Exhale, shift your hips back, straighten your right leg, and flex your toes back towards your shin. Option to come back forward, curl up your left toes and lift your left knee and move into a pyramid if that would be better for your body, right? Breathing here. Option to take your right toes forward, bring them back up, whatever you need. You can also have a bend to your right knee. And then if it's available, your torso drapes down and you spin your navel towards your right thigh bone. On your next inhale, walk yourself forward. Curl up your left toes, lift your left knee, and on the exhale, walk all the way over to the left. Spin your toes slightly to the left. Stay lifted, bend your left knee, straighten your right leg. Now your tailbone is pointing directly towards the long edge of your mat, and the crown of your head is pointing forward. Your hands can be on your blocks, they can be down on the ground. Right hand stays rooted, left arm reaches up to the sky. Left knee is bent. If you have the space, your right hand can catch your left ankle. Maybe your right elbow comes down to the earth. Your left arm could wrap around the small of your back in a half bind. And then slowly release. Inhale right back through center. Go ahead and straighten out both legs. And then your toes are slightly pigeon-toed or parallel to the long edge of your mat. And then you exhale, drape your chest down. Relax your shoulders from your ears. And then inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, flip it back over to the top of your mat. Inhale to bend into your right knee. To exhale, step your right foot back. Inhale, bring your knees down to the floor. Lift your bottom. Bend your elbows so it's knees, chest, chin. Exhale, chest and chin to the ground. Gaze forward. Hug your elbows in. And then inhale, slide your pelvis down to the ground. Untuck your toes, roll your shoulders back, lift your chest, and then exhale, pass through your box pose to child's pose. Hips to your heels. Relax your shoulders back and down. Inhale, press up into all fours. Tuck your toes. Exhale, lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze to your thumbs. Exhale, step your feet to the top of your mat. Blocks if you want them. Inhale, face the other way, halfway lift. And exhale, fold yourself down. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Reach your arms out and up. And then exhale, bring your hands down to heart center. Interlace all but your index finger. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, bump your hips to the right, your fingertips to the left. Just one more side body stretch. And then inhale, right back through center. Exhale, bump your hips to the left and your fingertips to the right. Relax your shoulders from your ears. Now if you feel this at all in your low back, take the pit of your belly, draw it in. And the top of your pubic bone slightly draws towards your navel. And then we inhale right back through center. Exhale, forward fold, chest to your thighs. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And then exhale, step your right foot to the back of your mat and soften your right knee down to the earth. Untuck your right toes. Now I've got my blocks on either side of my left foot. Left knee still tracks the heel of the ankle. Roll your shoulders back. Inhale here. And then exhale, lift your right knee. So you're stretching the top of your right foot, your shin, all that stuff. And you can press down pretty heavily into your blocks if you're feeling wobbly or unstable, right? It's all good. Let your pelvis soften down and forward. Maybe you lift your chin, lift your gaze. Take one more inhale. Exhale, soften your right knee down to the earth. Now squeeze your inner thighs towards one another. You can tuck your toes if you choose. Inhale, bring your shoulders over your hips, your arms up over your head. Stay for your exhale. So catch your balance before you do anything else. Breathe. On the inhale, open your arms out like a T. And then exhale, wrap your right arm underneath the left. Hug opposite shoulders or eagle up your arms. You choose. Now you can stay just like this. Or you inhale, lift your elbows, lift your forearms. And exhale, round and tuck your elbows in. Inhale to lift. And exhale to tuck. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, lift, unravel, reach your arms out and up. And then exhale, bring your hands down to the ground. You can have your hands on blocks if you choose. Your right hand stays rooted. Inhale, float your left arm up to the sky. Watch your right shoulder, your right elbow. Option to stay right here or bend your right knee and reach your left hand back and catch your bind. Stretch out your right quad. One more inhale here. Exhale, soften your right toes to the ground, your left hand to the outside of your left foot. Grab your blocks if you want them. Inhale here. Exhale, shift your hips back. Straighten your left leg. Flex your toes back towards your shin. And then inhale here. Exhale, heart and collarbones forward. Let your left hip pull back, right hip forward. And then you can take your left toes down and lift whatever you need, right? On your next inhale, walk yourself back forward. Curl up your back toes, lift your back knee, and then as you exhale, spin all the way to the right and bend your right knee. So you're in a high skandasana, essentially. Hands can be on your blocks or down on the ground. Your right knee is bent, tailbone back, crown forward, belly up. And when you're ready, your left hand comes down, either to your block or to the earth. And your right arm reaches up. Find your twist. Watch your low back and your hips. And then you have that option to let your left hand find your right ankle. Maybe your left forearm comes down to the ground. Your right hand can wrap around the small of your back. If your right hand did anything else, float it back up. And then we all meet right here in center. Inhale to straighten both legs, parallel or pigeon toe the feet. And then exhale, drape it down, crown down. Navel in, lateral ribs slide between the thighs. On your inhale, Inhale to bend into your left knee. Exhale, step your left foot back. One more time. Inhale, bring your knees down to the ground. Press your bottom up. Exhale, drop your chest down, your chin down, elbows hug in. Pull the pit of your belly in. And then inhale, slide it down to flat. Untuck your toes. Roll your shoulders back. And then exhale, press your hips back towards your heels. And walk your hands forward. Roll your forehead side to side. If your arms feel fatigued, reach your hands back and catch your heels. And then reach your arms back forward. Inhale, press up into your box pose. I'm going to flip back the other way now. And then on the exhale, lift your hips up and back. Find your downward facing dog. We're going to meet back in our inverted letter V. Hips high. Chest towards the thighs. And then inhale, gaze to your thumbs. Exhale, walk your feet to your hands. All right, grab your blocks, let them come to the top of your mat, just in front of your feet probably. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold yourself down. This time, heel toe your feet together, perhaps to touch, or leave them hip-width distance apart. And then inhale, bend your knees, sit your hips low, reach your arms high. Find your chair pose, Utkatasana. On the exhale, sit your bottom back and down. Now your toes are visible in front of your knees. There's a gentle squeeze of the inner thighs. Take one more inhale here. On the exhale, really press down into the four corners of your left foot. And then bring your right leg, cross your right ankle over your left knee. So it's a figure four. If you're close to a wall, feel free to use it for balance, right? I know some of y'all are working on that. And then some of you might sit your hips back and down. This is where maybe your blocks will come in handy to take some of the balance out of it, right? You can bring your hands down to your blocks, flex your right foot, and just breathe into your right hip, your groin, your inner thigh. Now your collarbones are slightly broad. Think of a baby sensation of an upward facing dog here, right? Like you're not completely arching your back, but you're broadening the collarbones. The knots on the fronts of your shoulders are rolling away from one another, all while you sit back and down into your glute. Your left hip, your left glute, and hamstring are supporting you, as well as your hands. Now inhale, bring your shoulders back over your hips, and then exhale, place your right foot on the ground, and straighten your legs. Give yourself a moment. If you need to roll out your left ankle, take a moment there. And then inhale, reach your arms up overhead. And exhale, fold yourself forward. Inhale to bend your knees. We're going to just take it over to the other side. Sit your hips low. Reach your arms high. And then exhale, root down into the four corners of your right foot. Take your left ankle. Cross it over your right knee, your right thigh. Pull the pit of your belly in. And then again, you can use the wall for balance or start to hinge and allow for your tailbone to reach towards the back of your mat while your hands perhaps find the tops of your blocks. And I have mine, as you can see, on level 3, so like the tallest level. Take a flex to your left foot. Squeeze at the base of your pubic bone, so mula bandha, right? You squeeze right there at the base, like you're trying to draw everything in and up. And it helps with a little bit of your balance, some stability, to feel firm on your feet. Breathe. Exhale completely. Inhale, bring your shoulders up over your hips. And exhale, place your left foot down on the ground and straighten your legs. Now if you need to roll out your right ankle, it's there. And inhale, reach your arms out and up. And exhale, fold yourself forward. You can slide the blocks. You know what? Actually, leave your blocks where they are. So we're pretty warmed up for this. So on the inhale, pop up onto the balls of your feet. So lift your heels. And then on the exhale, press your hands down into your blocks and soften your hips, your glutes towards your heels. So it's a toe stand. We've worked out the feet a little bit today, so I feel like, go for it. And if it doesn't feel right, don't do it. Yeah, it's all good. But again, mula bandha, squeeze at the base of your pubic bone. Draw everything in and up so you feel light. Take one more inhale here. And then exhale, drop your knees down to the ground. Stretch out your toes. All right, you can stay right here. You could untuck your toes if you would like. And then walk your hands back. Stretch out through the quads, the shins. You can also lift your knees. Stretch the tops of your feet a little bit more. Take one more inhale here. I'm going to puff up my chest for a moment. And then exhale, slowly release, walk it back forward. And then if it feels comfortable to you to cross your feet at the ankles and sit down, bring your legs out in front of you. Otherwise, swim your feet out to the side. Once you get here, move your flesh out of the way so you find the front edge of your sits bone. So we're looking for an anterior tilt of the pelvis. And then there's an internal rotation to your thigh bones here, even in Dandasana, Paschimottanasana, so that you're getting an opening, a spreading through the low back, right? Rather than a contraction and a compression. So with your inhale, reach your arms up overhead. And then exhale, you can bend your knees as much as you want. It's not about your hands finding your feet, it's about your ribs finding your thighs. Relax your shoulders back, pull your heart forward. And then really drape your torso over your thighs. Breathe here. On your inhale, lift your gaze. And then as you exhale, walk your hands back up so your shoulders come over your wrists. And then draw the sole of your left foot towards your right inner thigh. Janu Shirshasana A, inhale, reach your arms up overhead. And then exhale, hinge at your right hip. Now again, thigh and ribs connect. Pull your heart forward. And then breathe. If your hands actually meet on the other side of your right foot, I like to take my right hand and circle my left wrist, and it stretches out through the lats on the left side. Inhale, lift your gaze, and as you exhale, slowly release. Now lift your left knee, place your left foot down on the floor. Now your right arm comes behind you, and it's kind of like a second spine, so you press your hand down and lengthen. Now inhale, reach your left arm up, and as you exhale, hinge forward, internally rotate your left upper arm bone, so now your palm is facing away from your face. Reach towards the outer edge of your right foot. If it gets there, great. You're cleared to attempt the bind. Wrap your left arm around your left shin, your right arm around the small of your back. So Marichiasana A. If it doesn't quite get there, then you stay here and you reach and you open up through your hip and your shoulder. Don't force the bind if your body's not ready for it, right? It's all good. If you're there, inhale. Exhale, maybe bring your forehead, your nose down. Inhale, lift your gaze. Exhale, release. Bring your shoulders back over your hips. Now drop your left hand behind your left hip. Second spine with your left arm. Inhale, reach your right arm high. Exhale, you can hug your left knee in or take your right arm, your right elbow to the outside of your left knee or thigh. Now with your inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, you twist just a little bit more and you breathe. Right leg is active. On the inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, release. Drop your hands over to the right and get a counter twist. Inhale back through center. Let's switch it out. Take your left leg long. Bring the sole of your right foot towards your left inner thigh. Now your left leg stays active. Inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale, hinge at your left hip. Navel towards your left thigh bone as the hands meet. Left hand is the grabber, so the wrapper is the grabber. And the right lat opens. Breathe. Inhale, lift your gaze. Release. Exhale, walk your shoulders back up over your hips and bring your right knee up. There's about a fist width distance between your right inner arch and your left inner thigh. Your left hand comes behind your left hip. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, hinge forward. Spin your right thumb down. Reach towards the outer edge of your left foot first. If that is cleared, then your right arm wraps around your right shin, your left arm around the small of your back. And if it's not, then you just keep reaching and breathing, but you don't force, pull, push, none of that. You just breathe into it. Take an inhale, and then exhale, you can drop your head down. Now inhale, lift your gaze. Exhale to release. Bring your right hand behind your right hip. Inhale, reach your left arm high. Exhale, twist over into your right leg. Either hug it in or take your left arm to the outside of your right thigh. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, twist just a little bit more. Maybe gaze over your right shoulder. Now inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, drop your hands over to the left and get your counter twist. And then we inhale. Come right back through center. Exhale, extend both legs long. You might have to scoot forward so that your feet come more towards the top of your mat. Now create a C curve with your spine and come all the way down. Let your feet come down about hip width distance apart, setting up for a bridge pose, hands next to your hips. And let your heels come in towards, not all the way to, but closer to the sits bones. Roll your shoulders back. Inhale, press your feet down and away from you, and lift your hips. Breathe here for 5, 4, 3, 2, take a deep inhale, and then exhale, soften your hips down one vertebra at a time. Inhale here, exhale to a happy baby. Slowly release. slightly to the right. And hug your right knee in. On the exhale, drape your right knee over towards the left. You can open your right arm out like a T. And find a supine twist. Breathe here. On your inhale, slowly come back through center. Exhale, hug both knees in towards your chest. Keep the left knee in, extend your right leg. Maybe you scoot your hips slightly to the left. Inhale. Exhale, cross your left leg over to the right. Your left arm can reach out like a T. Gaze over your left fingertips. And on your next inhale, slowly come back through center. Let your hips, everything go back to neutral. Now hug your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins. Inhale here. On the exhale, round your forehead up to your knees. Stay for your inhale. And then exhale, extend your legs forward. Let your feet hang comfortably open. Your arms can come down by the side, body palms face up. If there's anything else that suits you more for Shavasana, be my guest, right? You do you. I started to yawn. Maybe one hand is on your belly, one hand is on your heart. I don't know. Yeah, you do you. And as you drop in here again, close down your eyes. Unless that doesn't feel comfortable to you, you would gaze softly at a space just above you on the ceiling. Move your jaw from side to side and then let it hang. And allow for the tongue to fall away from the roof of your mouth. And as you breathe in, you know you're breathing in. And as you breathe out, you know you're breathing out. And rest. What you need is to be here a little bit longer. I invite you to stay exactly where you are. If you are ready, begin to deepen your breath. To wiggle your fingers and your toes. And on the inhale, float your arms up over your head. Find a full body stretch. And as you exhale, hug your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins. And eventually you'll roll over to the right or press straight up into your comfortable easy sit, Sukhasana, whenever you're ready. Stack your shoulders over your hips. Your hands can rest in your lap on your knees or come together in Anjali Mudra, heart center. And take a gentle bow of the head, honoring yourself, this practice, whenever it is that you do it. And you take that final moment, that pause, to be grateful for your body, for what it does for you today, to be hopeful for tomorrow. I appreciate your presence, your dedication, your consistency. So thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day.